Some people that are in a fear, even starting a conversation about another business. What is that message that you have?
We had a friend, they ended up buying an existing restaurant, and he's hurt because he just bought himself another job. Can you imagine? Like, our store almost hit $1 million in a year. It's unheard of, right?
Sometimes I'm even jealous and I'm holding my staff and my team to your standards because you guys are freaking blowing it out of the park.
If you have somebody else that's got your back even more than you got your own back, you can't lose. Usually somebody that already has a lot on their plate, believe it or not, you can handle more. You've been selected to become a franchisee based on all the vetting processes they've done for you. Trust me, you're going to succeed. You're going to win.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of The Business Trap. I know it's been a while since we've done one of these, but today I have some very special guests with us. They are our franchisees, Albert and Diana, and I have a lot personally to thank them for believing in what we do, for believing in our brand, and just helping us take our brand and our business to the next level. But I'm sure they're also going to share some of their stories, some of their why they made the decision they have made, and we're going to dive deep into their experience so far, like what have made this experience the way it has and how they felt throughout the different stages. So stay tuned. This video is for anyone that wants to open a franchise or that wants to open their own business and want some general knowledge or understand how is it that we at Tropical Juice Bar do things. All right, so Albert, Diana, first, thank you so much for being here with us. Question, how do you guys feel right now that we're pushing a year and a half? How do you feel so far, you personally? Because don't tell me you both feel the exact same, because I know you're going to have different emotions. Let us know how you feel.
Well, I feel great. I feel amazing. It's been a year and a half and it's a lot of emotions. Overall, it's just feeling great about this whole process and learning a new different industry. A service industry is something that we were used to. And just knowing that we had the support behind it was even better. It was a great experience.
I know you said I can't piggyback off, but to tell you the truth, we feel super accomplished. It's very different having the feeling of owning a restaurant than it is to own real estate. As you know, that's our background. So, there's a certain pride of ownership that you have when you own a house or investment property. And then there's a complete different sense of pride that you have when you own a restaurant, when you're able to provide this satisfaction to hundreds of people every day. And, knowing that you're a part of that you were able to satisfy somebody's craving of eating. Because, when you're hungry, your mood changes, right?
Yeah.
You could, if you're too hungry, somebody could start, you start a fight with somebody or whatever, right? So just to be a part of knowing that somewhat because of you and your staff, and it brings a different sense of fulfillment and satisfaction to you, knowing that and it's healthy stuff too. It's not like that you're contributing towards their cholesterol or, any of that other stuff. You're contributing to the success of their health and longevity. So that makes me feel really, really good.
So thank you for that. Now, let the audience know, what was it like the night before you guys signed the franchise agreement? What was the feeling back then? What made you to say, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do. I'm ready. I'm all in. Walk us through those moments back then.
Well, first of all, when I heard the word franchise or franchisee, and you kind of think of like McDonald's, right? Mm-hmm. You don't think that you can be a part of anything else, right? So have ownership of a known brand, right? So, that was kind of something that we took a step back and realized. But the night before we signed, we were super excited. And just like anything we do, we jump in both feet, we don't test the waters out. That's how you get hurt, Yeah. No, like we both jumped in. You say, hey, you got my back. I got my...
Once we both have that, we make the decision and we know that we have our back.
Yeah, that we can't fail. And more importantly, I know this is going to sound bad, right? But I know you want us to succeed, so therefore it's fail proof, right? Yeah. So if you have somebody else that's got your back even more than you got your own back, you can't lose. Anything's a risk in life, but if they're calculated risks with more importantly the character, the throughout the years, the Lopez's have shown us, like, it hasn't changed. It's consistent. So today, we haven't seen any inconsistencies with how they've treated us, and as well as, how their product is and their cleanliness. And it was always consistent. That builds a certain level of confidence in you as well, that you always see the same stuff. And trust me, we're from New Jersey, so we're always skeptical, right? New Jersey, New York, tri-state area. You're like, hey, what's this guy have up his sleeve, right? You're always a skeptic, and you get that gut feeling. We had that gut feeling that night.
And also, we're God-fearing individuals.
Yeah, we prayed on it.
We definitely prayed on it. And I know his family as well. So it's something that, it just felt right. We're allowed to be guided, and we're thankful for that. And here we are now.
I guess the next question that I have is, fast forward now. I know you guys personally, I know you professionally. I know that even though you're overseeing your operations, you're not in there day in, day out. You have the management in place. Your current business, I see that it's continuing to thrive and move forward. Like today, we're here at Christie's International Real Estate, who you guys are part of, and more recently. And that's a testament to you opened the franchise, you're doing great, exceeding expectations, which we're going to talk about in a second. And you're also growing your own business, your other business, which is a testament to. So all that to say is, tell the audience, maybe some people that are in the fence, oh no, I'm a truck driver, or I have another side business going on, and they fear even starting a conversation about another business. What is that message that you have for them?
Again, this is a little bit selfishly, right? We're in a position that we've been able to grow our business. We also have a team, the AD group, that we've transitioned to Christie's. And I think a lot of the systems and processes that we've developed throughout the year and a half can speak to juice bar systems and level 10 meetings, and having consistency behind the feedback loop that we have with our other realtors that are on our team, and the way that we now put ourselves to service more clients. I think Juice Bar has helped out a lot with that. So we've kind of just piggybacked on their systems and processes in a certain way, because business is business at the end of the day. So when we've been able to structure ourselves in a similar fashion, it's helped us out a lot and get to this point. But to speak to anybody else that might be concerned about just having the conversation, it's just a conversation, right? It could be for you, might not be for you, but you'll never know. You're going to miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, we didn't have the conversation initially with him with the intentions of moving forward. It's just something that made sense for our situation, our family, and at the time, our business. We're definitely on pace to be on a circle of excellence. It's this realtor credential. So, we're doing well with real estate. We're doing well in our other endeavors. This, I'm speaking more to the people, the action takers, because usually somebody that already has a lot on their plate, believe it or not, you can handle more. People that don't have too much on their plate, they usually just end up procrastinating, thinking about it too much. But I'm talking more to the people that are action takers. This is something you could probably take on and be very successful at it.
So as I see, my husband talking about how much we're winning, it's not only in our business, but also in our family. And it's just a system that works for everything. We have more discipline in our lives now because we need it. We need it not only for our business, for our family, for each other. So I think it was just a blessing for us to just, start this juice bar, journey.
I guess I should let people know is that at Tropical Juice Bar, we don't sell franchises. We award them. It's not at the Tropical Juice Bar location, we'll sell you a smoothie, we'll sell you empanadas. But if you reach out to us, you want to open a business, you have to go through a series of validation, because we want to make sure that you are the right person. That's where it starts. Mm-hmm. We first get to know you. We make sure that you have what it takes to be a business owner, a Tropical Juice Bar franchisee. And unfortunately, not everybody will have what it takes, or is not aligned with our values in order to be a successful franchisee, in our opinion, and then you will not be awarded a franchise. So, we will take care of you from the beginning. It's not like automatically you call me oh, I'm going to buy. It's
And it speaks to a little bit more about what I was saying earlier, such as that they're vetting everybody they're speaking to before they become a franchisee. So if you've been selected to become a franchisee based on all the vetting process that they've done for you, trust me, you're going to succeed. You're going to win. Think about it. If they're vetting you this way, what do you think they're doing to the locations? The whole process is being vetted. So if you are selected, then it's a great thing because guess what? You're going to win.
Just hearing this, that he selects people or individuals to become part of his franchise. It's more of a feeling like you feel proud. You feel like you feel even more comfortable just letting go and just wanting to do good because, it comes from a person that also has good values and it's important for us.
And if you want a cheat sheet, right? Like pass the whole vetting process, just don't be a jerk. Person. Don't be an asshole.
All right, so at Tropical Juice Bar, we have something very clear that we have to protect the brand at all costs because we don't just owe protecting the brand to us as investors, as somebody who has spent over 15 years working on this, but we have to protect it for our hundreds of employees that work at Tropical Juice Bar and people like Albert and Diana that have put their heart and soul have gone above and beyond just to make sure that they are successful and they are Tropical Juice Bar, franchisees and with great outcome. Like they plan in the future to open more locations. So every owner that we award a franchise to has to be the right person and they have to be successful.
Even like when we hire someone, like even when we look at the person, we look at the person's nails, like we want, like seriously, they're going to be cooking your food. They're going to be cooking my kids' food. So it's like we eat from there. So it's just like we want to protect that, our culture. Like you should be smiling 10 times harder and I'm always smiling, So it's like, so it's a beautiful thing.
It's all about the experience.
And even our children see, they're like, oh, mommy, that girl is really nice. She's really pretty. She's really this. Or there's someone that's not that. They pick it up right away.
Yeah,
they're like, mommy, wait, I think, is she just temporary? Because they see there's a difference. There's something, it's not the same glow. The gift happiness lead to, our core values, which is very important.
All right, so things are getting very juicy. And I know so far we just painted rainbows and gold sprinkles falling from the sky, but I want us to touch into what I feel is one of the most challenging parts of owning a business, which is creating the culture and hiring the team and doing all that. So I want you guys to, I guess, talk to the audience a little bit of what was your experience like, and I want you to be truthful. Like I know you have some pain points.
Yeah.
And just kind of elaborate a little bit on that. And we put a couple examples of things that happen. I know if somebody scratched your car, like, hey, like be real so the audience can know, like, okay, this is what happens when you're trying to establish a culture. And then I guess why it's so important to have that culture, which is what brings us here today.
So we've had for a year and a half, a lot of stories that we could tell you. But initially, first concern that we had, right, was in reference to managing a team. Because in the past, we have managed teams before, places that we weren't the owners. And, we kind of didn't want that anymore. But we were managers in those positions. So in this case, we were, you're the owner of it. So you're not dealing with as much as the brunt right now, right? Today that we're speaking. However, initially when we first started the franchise, we had to create the culture that we wanted to be serviced in. So what we would see in other restaurants, we're like, you know what? When we were constantly talking about it.
We sit in different restaurants.
And we would assess them and say, hey, look, we just get the service. Did we not get the service? What their service could have been better, right?
This is what we want to do.
This is what
we don't want.
So then what we did is we started hiring towards what we did want. And when we saw things that we didn't want, let's say in the interview, somebody's talking bad about the other employer, or, there's not too much longevity, people are job hopping, we wanted people that had a growth set mentality, right? So I believe everybody that works at our juice bar, they see the career path, right? They see the growth, they see the light at the end of the tunnel, as opposed to just treating it like a place to clock in and clock out. And that's a culture we intentionally created from day one. So day one we did micromanage a little bit, right? It was to sculpt what we wanted and develop it into what we know it could be. No,
it was definitely micromanaged to the point that he removed my the cameras off my phone because I would look every 20 seconds just to make sure everything was perfect. And to this day, I don't have the cameras on, so we just accept things.
It was healthier.
It was to help.
I think that one of the most important things to know is that your people are your most valuable asset.
Yes.
And having the people be your most valuable asset, it is also like a double-edged sword, because you have to dedicate the time to the different personality. And as we all know, the only predictable thing about people is that they're unpredictable. You don't have somebody that is a great interviewer and all of a sudden, oh, that person didn't interview.
Yep. Yeah, so initially, maybe what it was like month number 3, we had an employee that he was amazing, by the way.
So an interviewer.
Yeah, he was great. He started working for us. Maybe on month 2 or 3, we find him stealing. We find him stealing. I'm not going to say exactly what he stole, but he was stealing, right? He knew that what he was doing was not the right thing to do. So we approached him. We talked to him. We have a zero tolerance for that, because that's more of a character. Well, so we decided to let him go, and on his way out, he keyed our car, and we caught him on the camera. And at that point, we're like, "Damn, what's this sound like? Hey, like, I would have thought it was her."
So what I did was I got in his phone again because I don't have access to the cameras. I got in his phone and I saw this person keep our car, and we did what we have to do. But these are just examples of you know
Then he's like, "Oh, that was your car?" When we called him out on it, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was your car." Like, yeah, that was. Why would you key anybody else's car? He's like, "Oh, but that's an Acura." I'm like, "No, it's a Tesla," And then he's like, "Oh, but he just kept on giving
Yeah.
more and more excuses." And I'm like, "Hey, look, listen, what do you want to do?" But
Yeah.
long story short, there will be,
You didn't press any
that did hurt because
charges.
like nobody's intentionally hurt us in
Yeah.
ever, So I'm like, damn, like, we treated you good. You stole from us. And we just said, hey, look, just go. We didn't press charges, none of that stuff. We just say, look, just take your stuff and go. So that kind of sucked,
Yeah.
but young and dumb, right? Obviously that's not an excuse, but that's I think what
What
happened.
happens?
Yeah. Do you feel like any of the system, the processes that you learned with Tropical Juice Bar actually helped you catch this person stealing?
Yeah. Well, first of all, the cameras, right?
Yes, cameras are required at every store.
The cameras caught the scratching of the car, caught the stealing of what he was doing, and really the culture.
Mm.
The culture had 3 people call him out on it.
Yeah.
Everybody on their shift.
They didn't know how to tell us, but they were telling him like,
Yeah.
hey, it's not good. Don't do that. So we had a culture without even knowing
Yeah.
we had a good culture.
Because you do right by your people and they'll do right by you. And I think that's what happened there is a mixture of that along we started seeing because we do inventory check and stuff like that. So we did start taking a little bit closer look into certain things, market man. So we cross-checked a couple of the systems and we were like, hey, something's not right here. And we did a nice audit and then we started getting aware of, all right, what are things we should be looking for? And we were able to find the culprit. So, these are systems that I know not just help us in this juice bar, but I really do believe that by having multiple locations, it just gets a lot easier, as well as if they're in proximity of each other, just like any type of management of anything. But, you're using the same exact systems, right? So, but the more locations you do have, it's not like you're opening up separate apps or anything. It's all the stuff that you're already used to looking at. So the cameras, you just one app, software, another app, so it's all just the same apps that you normally would do to run your business and cross check and verify things. It's just you're clicking on a different location. So, I believe that it's probably easy to run. I think maybe 2 or 3 of them. I'm not there yet, right? I'm not there yet.
Ask me, I'll tell you.
But let's defer to Carlos on that. But theoretically speaking, I think it probably is an easier thing to do to run multiple locations.
Yeah, no, and I would speak to that because I feel that once we had 5 locations running, we had implemented all the systems that we needed in order to run the location smoothly, then I felt like my job was done. I felt like it was too easy. So after that, that's when we decided to franchise our business and offer this opportunity and bring our products to the different communities. So it does get easier the more locations that you have. And again, a lot of people have this notion that when they get into a business, they should get into a business where it's very easy, that pay $20 and make $1,000, something like that.
Mhm.
And I don't think that exists. I think that in any business you will go through experiences, and if you don't want to run the risk of somebody running you over with a car, stay home. But if you stay home, you also won't take advantage of all the great opportunities that are out there. So that's kind of my message that I have. And that's why, I'm going back to awarding the franchise. I need to understand that our franchisees have a certain risk tolerance, and they're not always in fear of doing anything, because that could also sabotage and hurt the business and hurt themselves in the long run.
I think what Cardo said about, ask me, I'll know, and that's exactly what we do. So when there's situations or anything, it could
We ask them everything.
a little bit of everything. We ask them at any time.
We're not shy to ask.
And there's always an answer, or they'll refer me back to a system, which I love, because once they refer me back to a system, I can do the same thing with my team. And it's something that I didn't make up. It's already proven. It's a system and it works.
Success leaves clues, guys. So it's the who, not the how. We had a friend that they ended up buying an existing restaurant because they thought that it was going to be cheaper, or like that they didn't have to pay a franchise fee and stuff like that, right? And he's hurt. He's hurt. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's hurt because he just bought himself another job. So he's paid all this money to buy a restaurant, thinking of financial freedom. Trust me, I knew exactly what he was thinking. But he wanted, it should be the concept everybody eats, But if you're always thinking, what's in my pocket now, that's where you get hurt, So, this guy basically bought a job. He's miserable. His family's not in the best condition. Like, it's all a whole bunch of bad stuff is happening, when the reality is he could have just got into a franchise.
Whatever you do, if you do want to open a restaurant, do not go out there and open your own unless you have about 10 years to dedicate to that restaurant to make it into a franchise and establish all the systems that you have. When you buy a franchise, you're buying all the experience from this franchise, all the way back from the beginning, from when they started, all the pain points that they had to go through to establish those systems. So now that they're not there are things that we have, systems that we have developed, that our franchisees don't even understand why they're there. But they trust us and they trust the systems to follow it, because we tell them, look, these are the consequences of why we do this like this. And if we wouldn't do something a certain way, then there will be consequences that they will have to pay either with time or with money. And we want to avoid all those things.
So when investing into a franchise, you're really investing into saving time. If you want to invest your money the right way, like think about if we had like a time machine, like that's what a franchise is just you speeding up 10 years of your life and you not having to figure out. Carlos, can you imagine, like our store almost hit $1 million?
Yes.
Almost. Can you imagine how long it would have taken us, right, Thea, to get to $1 million in a year? It's unheard of, right? And that's one of the powerful things of a franchise, is that it's like you're cutting the line. You're at Six Flags and you're getting that speed pass. I don't know what it's called, but it's that speed pass that it cuts everybody else in line. It's like, you'd make fun of everybody, right?
Yeah.
But no, but it really is. It's you buying your time back, and that's that's something you can't get back. So just you really got to think about it.
All right, guys. So check it out. Year and a half. I want to talk about how you guys have exceeded expectations. I want you guys to let the audience know, is this what you had in mind? And why do you feel that you're at the position that you're at? Because I'm going to be honest, sometimes I'm even jealous and I'm holding my staff and my team to your standards, because you guys are freaking blowing it out of the park. So talk to us a little about it.
We appreciate that.
Yes.
I appreciate that. We really do. We just try to do the best representation for Juice Bar and what we know it's going to be 10 years from now. So with that mindset of, this is just like we joined Christie's, right? Christie's International, it's a global brand. It's been around for 50 years. So it's the same concept. We look at Juice Bar, that it is going to be around for the next 50 years. And what would they say about us now, right? So what we want to do is, well, those guys are bulldogs. No, did you know back in the day, right? Everybody talks about back in the day, but we're living back in the day. So we go with those expectations that we're going to push forward relentlessly to move Juice Bar, the brand. We know what it's going to be in the future. So those are the expectations we give everybody. And I think one of the things that made us get to this point of being able to get to the numbers we have, I think, is being an empty vessel. We don't come with any preconceived expectations on what we should expect. And then if it doesn't happen or it does happen, so we're not expecting, like, I guess if somebody would come from the restaurant industry, right? They already have their bad habits.
Yeah.
And I hate for anybody that's in the restaurant industry, it happens.
True. It's true.
It happens, you get these things in your head that you think you know better. I think that that's one of the things that helped us, is that we're so far from the restaurant industry and the food industry and being, these gurus at it. We know real estate really, really well, but when it comes down to food, and we just don't know, right? So we're very liquid, I would say, right, Diana? What do you think?
I think it just makes me think about just how we start everything. Normally we start everything without knowing where we're going. We just know that back there wasn't good. So as long as we know that this way is good, we run. We run, and we're very competitive.
We're very competitive.
Very competitive, and I think that
Compete against each other.
always compete.
So wait, bring the camera to me, because I want to tell the audience something about these two. So in case you didn't know, Albert and Diana, they come from sales, right? Those two are a selling machine, and they're into real estate, which is sales. And now in the restaurant, they were able to translate their lifelong skills and their forte into their restaurant culture. And I think that's the main reason why they're exceeding expectations and the restaurant is doing so well. So, speaking about the numbers, right? Like almost hitting $1 million the first year in business. That is amazing, because I could tell you that when we open a location, we give it estimates based on the traffic, based on your expenses and all that. And I think we put your number at 750, and the bank made us drop it to 700 because they thought 750 was too aggressive.
And unrealistic.
And they pushed $1 million. So that's a testament to that.
And all their underwriters, and they did it numbers that we under our projections. So like they were being very conservative on how the SBA was underwriting the loan.
Yeah.
So hit it out the park, man.
Yeah, no, and again, going back to how they were able to use our systems and our selling strategy to just put it like on crack and just like kind of brainwash their team to be relentless at the time of offering the customers. And at the end of the day, me as a customer, sometimes I go to a store, I don't even know what I want. But if I have a great team member that letting me know, have this with this, have that with that. And that's what it's about. It's about adding value to your customers. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. And I think that's why your projections were so great.
So anybody listening to this, right, stop by the Hackensack location.
We're trying to push, 1,000 reviews by the first
Yes, we wanted 2,000 reviews by the end of this year.
year. Almost there.
We're almost to the 1,000 mark.
There's no other way to live. You have to be relentless. You just have to believe in yourself and do the right thing, make other people shine as well. And you be the example first. Shine your light, and then everybody else will do good.
Glow.
Yeah, glow, glow, glow.
All right, guys. So there you have it. Albert, Diana, thank you so much. Really appreciate all the faith that you have in us, and as well as we have in you guys. You guys have not proven us wrong, and we were right in choosing and awarding you guys for our first franchisee. Thank you so much for referring us to all the franchisees that we bring to you that want to find out information, because our number one thing is we want to be transparent. So when somebody talks to us a franchise and we see that they're serious, we were like, go Albert, go Diana. They're going to walk you through everything that they went through. So you're not hearing it from us. You're hearing it from somebody that's actually doing it. So I want to thank you. Thank you for watching The Business Trap. This episode, I think, was great because it's going to help a lot of you avoid a trap that a lot of people do in business, which is going into business blind and not having the support that they need. So until next episode, thank you so much.